next year.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
She
at,
seemed like she was really pretty on the ball.
but no, we've paid her $2,500 this year, so if it's 19, she's,
Okay, it's in line now.
Okay.
I don't know
All
why.
right, we've got Kate, let's see, Armando, Mandy. Hi, guys, can, let's see, give me a sound check, Kate?
It's muted, so she'll have to unmute.
Okay, and you can hear us okay?
Yeah, we can hear.
Great, Mandy?
Yes,
Great, and you can hear Armando?
yes.
Is that helpful at all?
Mondo's muted.
All right, I think we have everybody then. All right, welcome everybody. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. I can't see the clock that far. What are we, 3:02?
Yes.
Thank you. And for the adoption of the agenda, does anybody have any corrections, additions, changes they'd like to make to the agenda? All right, hearing no, I am going to make a suggestion to move up 4 items in the old business to go ahead and get some discussion out of the way, because I think they will relate to a few other items later on in the old business. So could I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Okay, Calder motion, any second?
I'll second.
Okay, and Cindy, are you with us?
I didn't see Cindy anywhere. She hadn't called in or anything.
Is she in the waiting room? No?
No.
Are you with admin? Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll proceed, but Riley, could you just keep checking the waiting room?
I will definitely.
Okay, perfect. All right, thanks. All right, great. And consideration of minutes. Kate was kind enough to get the minutes out really early, and also the packet. Thanks for doing that, Kate. Can I have anybody motion to approve the minutes, or are there changes?
I didn't see any changes.
Mandy?
Yes, I'll motion.
Okay, Mandy motions to approve the minutes. Calder seconds.
I'll second.
All right, and we're approved on the minutes. Thank you. Moving right into the financial report. Steve, could you take it away?
Thank you, Sandy. For the month of January, the sales, rental sales throughout the town of Beech Mountain were $3,191,366, which translates into a collection for the month received by February 20th of $187,248. Year to date, we are 211% over budgeted revenues for the year. The expenditures that were made during the month of February were $64,554.
It's not doing anything for you? Over to Riley, and Riley can probably talk you through it.
For a total of $245,599 in expenditures. That leaves you $551,497 excess for the year's revenue over expenditures. At the bottom of the report, you can see the bank balances as they stand as of February 28th. And that is my report.
Okay, great.
Chairman.
Calder, do you have any questions on the dollar amounts? And so, Steve, is that the first time that we've broken 3 million?
I believe it is.
Woo!
Yes.
All right, nice number. 3's my lucky number, so good on that. All right.
Steve, one thing, if if you and Bob and Kate could get together and look this up, because I'm not sure I'm right, but we have a unique thing happening this year. If I remember correctly, in the legislation for occupancy tax localities, our entity that keeps us in line, the town and you, is 3% for the first 500,000 and 1% over that. If y'all would investigate that and see if that is the case.
We will investigate that,
I
Coulter.
mean, I don't have to have that answer.
Okay.
Let's look at that.
Pay them, well, we're supposed to pay 1% after we pass 500,000. We did have that happen last year too. We brought in 551,000, but we didn't think about this. And we just paid 3% across the board.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, Kate, on the invoices paid in February, I just had one quick question on them. You've got Power Play marketing the Panthers and the Hornets, and I know when we had thought about doing this initially, and it was during more, I guess it was the COVID type season, there was kind of like not a disclaimer, but an out clause that if they didn't play a certain number of games or whatever, it would get moved into like the next season or whatever. Is that still what you have negotiated?
Riley, what are we doing?
Kate, are you saying yes? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I am saying that we do have the right to move it in the next season if they do not play for some reason again.
Oh, perfect, thank you. You were knocked off for a second there. Okay, great. Does anybody have any other questions about the invoices for February?
No, I don't.
All right. Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Steve, we've got you down for explaining the audit engagement letter.
So every year, it's your responsibility as the board to approve by motion and vote for the audit contract, whether you want to carry this forward or seek a new auditor. So I believe Kate has provided you with the information in your packet, and if you're prepared to do that.
Right, and the audit was squeaky clean and wonderful this year. The auditor really said great things about working with the two of you guys. Kate, is your recommendation to go ahead and continue with the same auditor?
Yes, this is an excellent auditor, and she is also doing the audit for the town, so it would be a very simple thing to just add us onto that work. She did a very good job with this last year.
Great, okay.
I agree.
Can I go ahead and get a motion?
So move.
All right, Calder motions to go ahead and continue the audit service with Miss Cindy. Mandy, can you second?
Yes, I'll second.
All right, perfect. All right, jumping right into old business. Thank you guys for your flexibility. I'm going to go ahead and move up the Bark Park Sledding Hill bathroom to the top of the agenda here. You guys had a diagram that was sent to you. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
And I'm going to go ahead and just call in. I'm not picking on anybody. Mandy, would you like to do any kind of comments first?
I never got it.
Okay.
Yeah, find it.
All right. I believe Bob is going to be able to share. Are you being able to see us today, Mandy?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know why.
All right. Kate, this was included in the packet or this came separate?
Came separate.
I have the playground, but I don't have.
good. No good.
Her connection's not good. I got it.
Okay.
It's fine, but it's just fine.
It's Cindy? Okay.
Yeah, I checked from the outside.
Ask her if she can see it on her screen.
Can you see it on your screen, Mandy?
I can, yes.
Oh, great. Okay, super. Thank you, Bob. All right, so, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a chance to look at it for a second. Mandy Calder, do you have any comments?
Not yet.
Okay. And Bob, would you just like to give a little bit of a background and go over?
Sure. This is the preliminary design for the Bark Park bathroom and tendon hut for Sledding Hill number 2. John Merritt put it together so that we would have something to work from. Town council has looked at it, and now it's time for the TDA to have a look at it. We're proposing this to go between the hill and the parking lot at the Bark Park. It's about 620 square feet, I believe. It's a double bathroom, male and female. It's got a Sledding Hill shack where we would have the attendant as well as storage of our materials. And this is also where the sound equipment would be for the sound equipment that the TDA purchased for Sledding Hill number 1. And we've got a designation on the lower left-hand corner called ticket booth. I'm not really sure what our intention is there. We needed to fill out the space, and we wanted to have the ability to have an observation room and to be able to, if we go into a summer program or something where we would have to engage with the public, we didn't know what to call it, so we called it a ticket booth. We're not in the business of selling tickets for the Sledding Hill. It's going to remain free. That was a question that council raised. So pretty much that's what is being proposed. It's been estimated at $200 per square foot. It makes it about a $120,000 project. If we can secure funding for it, then we'll go to construction drawings and we'll send it out to bid. The intention is to have it built before winter season of 2021.
Okay, thank you. In a lot of recreation centers or whatever, they call that a utility window. You can sell concessions. It doesn't just have to be tickets. It's kind of like an everything pass-through window. So, you can guys refer to that way if you want. Mandy, do you have any questions now after getting a brief look at it?
Not at this time.
Okay. Okay, go.
Have we worked out a long-term solution about having the sledding hill in that location?
No.
Okay.
We anticipate that, but right now the council hasn't made the final decision of moving the Sledding Hill and closing down Sledding Hill number 1. I anticipate, they haven't told me they don't want to do that, but I anticipate that's going to occur, but we haven't made that commitment yet.
Okay, great. Sean, do you have anything that you want to add?
No, Bob really kind of hit it on the head.
Is she not picking up?
One of the reasons that we did the larger building, one, if we move to Sled Hill, we do need a sled shack, we need storage. So this is one way of getting, you need the microphone.
Sorry, Sean.
I'm trying to get it.
Never.
All right. So again, doing this larger bathroom, it gives us more storage and also shrinks our footprint by not having multiple buildings spread out around the area. So it's kind of served multiple purposes. Also, we've seen how busy the mountain was this past year. We having to put in porta-johns, so having multiple bathrooms would just be better. Also looking long-term. We're looking at investing in a playground. Our Bark Park has always been successful, so we're trying to bring more recreation to the top of the mountain. So again, that's why the building has expanded more, so they can accommodate more numbers that we will continue and hopefully see.
How many porta potties do we have up there now?
There's one right now. There was 2.
Okay.
And we're having all of them removed now.
Dumped them, yeah.
They're gone away.
Okay, great. Calder, any other questions?
No, when I saw that, I thought, gosh, I don't know if we want to get into this much of a project, but then the more I thought about it, I thought, if we have that there, and we have the Sledding Hill, and we have the Kite Festival, and we have other events, then we can get out of the porta potty business and and have a fixture that works, but, and I'm in support of this if we can really push forward with doing more events, more things on that hill.
Well, I think that's the intent. Obviously, we don't want to, we're gonna bring a playground to you. We're talking about the sledding hill moving there. We're talking about summer activities. The bathroom was something that the TDA identified as a priority in their plan. I think that's the concept, is moving as much of the activities over there as possible. We do have a lease for the land that we don't own. This building will go on town property. I can't build something on someone else's property. I don't feel comfortable doing that. As well as the playground, if it goes forward, that's going to be on town property. So I think the concept is to move everything, well, as much as possible, over to that site, along with like the Kite Festival and other things that people have talked about. The sledding hill obviously is the key. You've invested a substantial amount of money this winter to get the sledding hill up and going. I believe that's where it's going to be. We did a proof of concept. It worked. It seemed to be as popular, sometimes more popular than sledding hill number 1. And just going further, as we go with the visitor center expansion, that's going to take up some of sledding hill number 1's space. So I think overall, everything is moving across the street, if that helps answer that.
Great.
Can I participate in here?
Sure.
From a safety standpoint, getting it across the road would be great for anyone coming, because the road is very dangerous for pedestrians.
Yeah, I had some of my guests comment on that very factor.
The safety.
They thought that was much better, because she was watching one kid sledding, the other two are behind her running around, and she thought that was a much better scenario.
Well, and I'll point out that the TDA did this year, including with the Sledding Hill funding, you purchased signs for crosswalks and you purchased barricades. So, that all goes into the safety aspect. From my personal opinion, moving the sledding hill, it's a better event over there. It's longer, it's a better ride, it's not as fast, hopefully won't have as many injuries. So I think that's where we're going, but to answer your question, Calder, we haven't got that decision made yet.
Well, I mean, and I know this sounds cynical, but I just don't want to get into a situation where we put all this infrastructure over there and suddenly the people on the land go, wow, they're really committed to this side of the hill, I'm going to raise the lease. I know that sounds cynical, but
Well, before we go any further on the Sledding Hill number 2, it'll be a long-term lease with both property owners. They are well aware of what our intentions are, and right now it's $1 a year. So even if they doubled it,
yeah,
I'm good.
that's great. That's
Kate,
awesome.
do you have any comments you'd like to add?
Yeah. I'd like to say that the ticket window idea originally came up where Sean Rural in a few years might want to do a summer sledding hill there, and that could be something that we could sell tickets for. So it could be an actual ticket window at some point. Whether or not we end up with a sledding hill over there, having a bathroom at the bar park and what will probably be a playground too is still an excellent idea. And it takes some of the pressure off of the visitor center and also the pressure off of the traffic flow, as people won't have to cross the road to come to the restroom here.
Yeah.
So I think, irrespective of the sledding hill, which I do want over there, but if that for some reason does not happen, I still think it's an excellent placement for a cow building with that vicinity.
Okay. Bob informed us he's looking at, what, $200 per square foot, and we're thinking this diagram is 600 square feet?
Yeah, we put together, for discussion purposes for you and the council, a budget of $120,000. I don't want to, overestimate that, but I also don't want to underestimate it. So before we can give you hard numbers, we need to finalize the construction drawings and send it out to bid. But we think it'll go $200 a square foot. With the caveat that building materials and contractors are in short supply right now. So that may have a figure, that may have to be calculated into it. We think we've added some premium for that, but until we get a quote from a contractor, I can't tell you exactly how much.
Okay.
But we've estimated at $200 a square feet.
Okay. So what would you like us to do today, Bob?
Well, like I asked council last night, is this something you like? Is this something that meets with what your vision is? Do you want us to proceed? If it's not, then I need to know what you want me to do. But what I don't want to do, we're to the point now where we don't want to continue forward if this isn't something that the TDA, who we're asking to fund it, just doesn't like. Then we'll go back and do something else. So that's where we're at now. It's conceptual. There won't be if you like this and you're okay with the estimate, we won't know what the final numbers are until we bring it back, and then you'll have the final say to say, yes, go ahead and, contract it out or don't do it.
Okay.
So this is preliminary. As I promised you, I'll bring you a package with an estimate, and then we'll see what you want to do, and if this is acceptable, we'll proceed.
All right, so as is right now with the estimated dollar amount, the 120, looking at the physicality or the beauty element of it, does anybody have any questions or comments that Bob should know before we either tell him to go ahead or not?
Or take a hike.
Or take a hike? Mandy?
I think we should proceed.
All right, you're comfortable with if it comes in at 120? Okay, Calder?
Yeah, I mean, and if, I've been getting bids on some projects for some condo associations, and all these contractors are playing the futures game when they go to Lowe's, so I know that it's hard to pin it down. Is it reasonable to say we'd like to make a motion, but if it's more than 15% difference, that we come back and we discuss it? Is that give enough margin?
Well, I'm not asking for that. What I want to do is be able to bring a bid to you from a contractor and say, we can build it for this amount, and then ask you to approve it at that point. What I didn't want to do was go all the way through that process and then have you say, this wasn't what we were talking about.
Yeah, because initially we had talked about a much smaller, but, I think the opportunities present itself for us to be a little bit smarter in that. So you're all good with it?
I'm good with it.
Kate, you sounded like you were okay, right?
Yeah, I think it's a very good plan. It does combine three things that originally might have been separate buildings, three separate buildings out there would not look nearly as good as this. And I would also point out that it has some architectural details that generally is also for Shane Park and for Lake County. So it kind of ties our town buildings together, gives us a very unified look.
That's a really good point, Kate. So
I like that as well, that as we build different structures around town, we can kind of keep with our same theme or decor or finishes or whatever. I just think it makes it look so professional.
So it sounds like that we aren't really ready to do a motion, but we can go ahead and give Chief Pudney the go-ahead in good faith that everybody, except for Cindy, I wish that really she could be in on this.
She's on.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Cindy, can you
Bob,
speak?
you may have to unmute her. I can't unmute her.
She's not muted.
Cindy, can you talk and give us your comments?
She's talking.
Do you have yourself muted?
She's on her phone.
Oh,
Tell her to push *6.
Push *6. That might not have been a good thing, Bob. Thank you for that, Mr. Techno Whiz.
She's back.
Oh, good. Cindy.
Can't hear.
Okay, Cindy, we can't hear you, so can you give a
thumbs
thumbs
up or
up?
thumbs down?
Thumbs down?
She went back off again.
All right. When she comes back up, Bob, let's try to get a thumbs up, thumbs down, or sideways on her, just so we get her input. All right, great. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the Forked Trail. You guys ended up getting the map in your packet. And Cindy, okay. So thumbs up, thumbs down, maybe. We can't get, we're not hearing you at all. I think I read your lip on that one. Okay. All right, so let's go into Fork Trail and hopefully Cindy can get back with us. Bob, can you pull that up and,
I do not have this.
okay, no worries.
I can't put that up, but everyone should have had it in their packet.
Right, so if you guys go ahead and take a look in your packet, the Fork Trail, I think what we're calling the Upper Fork, which is behind the Hotel Alley Row, I think that that's relatively easy. I think that there's only 2 easements. Does anybody have any suggestions or any problems with the town going ahead and going along that route? Mandy?
I'm good with that.
All right, Calder?
I guess my only question, and I guess it may come a little bit later, is that when you go behind the hotel, you know, if you go out on the street, we have some street lights provide light if people are walking at dusk or at night, but behind the hotels, I think we really need to consider some lighting, not necessarily this fancy ones like we have now, but some good lighting, because it's pretty dark back there.
That could be problematic. Getting power. Let me think on that.
Yeah, those are, that's.
I mean, I don't see any real problem giving us, our building, giving right of way to come on each side to go up there with lines or whatever. But
I can't hear anybody else. I can see either. And on the bottom of mine, it says camera, and it has a red X there.
Okay, Mandy, we can hear you.
See if they can hear you now.
All right, guys, can everybody hear me now? Okay, great. Okay. All right, so what Calder was saying, he was interested in doing some lighting on the upper, the hotel alley I'm referring to. Bob had mentioned that that might be an issue, but we're going to go ahead and investigate it. You know, there's going to probably be signage that is going to identify, you know, each hotel so people can know to walk across and head on into that area. So for right now, everybody, are we okay by show of thumbs up to go ahead and have them proceed with the upper part? Everybody's okay with that route?
Yes.
Okay, Cindy, was that a thumbs up or were you just waving? Cindy, you have to either do this or no.
She wants to talk.
Okay, we got a thumbs up. Thank you. All right, so let's go to the lower part, guys. They're at the very beginning of the lower park, and I'm heading from Fred's, walking down. We really have 2 options that the planner has given us. That first option is a 200-foot trail, and then the second option is a 265-foot trail. They both go to the same place. If you guys do not have a preference, I would suggest that we let the town select whichever one is easier for them and whichever one that doesn't give them any kind of headache or heartache. Does anybody have a preference? All right, hearing no conversation, we're going to go ahead and give Bob the opportunity to just select whichever one is easier and the one you find is the best. Option number 3, is the trail that cuts off and it makes a more direct path. It kind of cuts off what Bob calls the peninsula there. It just makes a straighter line. It's run in front of a bank of condominiums, and people are walking through that parking lot already. So hopefully we would be able to get an easement and help them beautify and do a trail through there instead of people just walking through their parking lot. Does anybody have any problem with that? All right, good. All right, now option 4 and 5, this is the one that you guys might want to chime in on. One of them goes behind the power facility and dumps you out right where Frazier's, they did that new pavilion there. And then you walk up the back road, those of us who are used to going to Beech Tree know that back road that goes right to the tap room, okay? The other option stays on close to the Beech Mountain Parkway, and it takes them a little bit longer, but it pulls them in through the front of the resort. I did discuss with Mandy, and she had said that she was interested in option number 4 if we could do it, because it doesn't just dump them out into 3 levels of parking lot, and nobody really knows where they need to go. Calder, do you have any thoughts?
Well, my thinking with that is, it's sort of like if you have gas come through the back door or through the front door, and I think the coming to the main entry will make more sense visually to people. I know it may be longer, but I think visually it will make more sense to people.
Okay. Did you get out a chance and take a look at both of them?
I mainly looked at one to where it comes in on the front,
Okay.
but I can.
The one, yeah, take a look, and I'm not being the used car salesman, Calder, I promise you. But if you take a look at it, it does dump out the new pavilion area there, and Frazier's, and it kind of is a destination instead of walking around, and you do see the resort sign, but you walk into 3 different parking lots. I mean, it's really, you have to get them through parking lot 1, 2, or 3, past the tubing. It's a much more direct route, and I think it would be easier to sign. But I'm willing to bow to your expertise. Mandy?
On that one, it also brings more pedestrians away from a parking area that's already heavily congested.
I don't know if you've seen what the resort has been doing, especially during the wintertime, to park every vehicle they possibly can on that area that you're talking about. So for safety and being a mom, but I'm willing to listen.
Sandy, the only,
But I like the option away from the parking lot.
Bob?
the only thing I want to caution you about on that route is we'll need permission from the resort. After you go past the pavilion, it actually comes out in between the compressor building, and that's a maintenance area. And we would have to get the resort's permission to start the trail there. It comes out between the fire station and the compressor building. It's very industrial, but that's where it would come, and then you would walk up that road and you'd be at the back of the beech tree is
Right.
where it would dump into the village.
Right.
So we can do that. We just need to make sure that Ryan approves of that.
Okay. Kate?
Yes, either route is fine with me. If we can go along the parkway, I think that's a great way to showcase our businesses down there. My thought is always trying to get more people to the businesses and, eventually to the resort. The other way is a more direct route to the resort. But it's honestly whichever one,
Works.
President can work out the agreements with, either way is fine.
Okay, great. So Bob, does that give you enough direction?
Yeah, thank you. What we're going to do now, starting tomorrow, is we're going to go start negotiating for easements on this path. And then if we run into a big snag where is a substantial change to the path, I'll bring it back to you. But I'd like to get the easements underway so that we can get construction underway early in this summer, particularly on the areas that we have to build.
Okay. Cindy? Any kind of up or down, like you totally hate it, or? Okay, you're gonna have to use sign language, so. A thumb up? Okay, great, all right. Okay, Bob, you had mentioned that working with doing this trail and perhaps some of the other trails that Sean might have in the future, that there might be a potential piece of equipment that can help make it cheaper?
Yeah, and I don't want you to think that I'm throwing something out at you. Certainly we can discuss it and have some discussion. Trail building is currently being bid to us at $5 a lineal foot. And we've got this trail to build, and we've got some trail to build, the accessible trail on that piece of land across from Fred's. And it looks like we might be going over into another area to make some trails that are not in the outback. So I met with Sean and so that we can substantially reduce the cost of building all these trails this summer. I asked him if we could do it ourselves. We had some discussion. We need a piece of equipment to build these trails. It's a mini excavator is what it's called. I've had Sean go out and get me some prices on it. It's $35,000, a little bit less, to purchase this piece of equipment and allow us to build our own trails. I think it's cost effective. And what I'd like to do is ask the TDA to fund that, and we'll build these trails first with that piece of equipment, if that suits you.
Calder, any questions?
I want to think about that.
Okay, we're just bringing it up for, while we were talking about the Fork Trail.
Okay, can I ask for a point of clarification on that? The excavator would be $35,000. If they voted to buy an excavator, there wouldn't be another cost to the TDA on the sport trail system? Would that be sort of the cost of the sport trail?
Right, we would build the trail in-house, and we wouldn't have to contract it out at $5 a lineal foot, so that if we built the trail, that there would be no additional cost to the TDA.
Okay, thank you.
Mandy, any comments or questions?
No, I'll consider everything at once before I decide.
Okay, all right. All right, so Bob, you're proceeding along with the Fork Trail.
Right, well, what we're gonna do, let me clarify, we're gonna go get easements, and we're gonna go get bids to, for a contractor to build the trail. And we'll bring those bids back to you as soon as we can.
Okay, great. All right, well, thank you guys for your work on that. Definitely thank Preston. All right, next one, playground, I'm moving playground up if you guys don't mind, playground planning update. And Sean, I'm assuming that's why you're here, or Bob, are you taking it?
I'll take it.
Okay. Yes, that's it. Did you not get it via email?
So the playground up at the Bark Park, as I'm sure you know, it was a priority of the town council, and also it appears on the TDA's strategic plan. And so we went out and solicited a bid for a playground that we have 2 council members who are champions on this project through their budget process. And this is the playground that has been selected and bid. And I showed it to the council last night. They were fine with it. And now it's your turn to take a look at it. The cost is, we updated The quote yesterday, it's $84,006.91. It is the picture that you see with a poured-in-place rubberized play surface. I think the important thing that the council was interested in was it met whatever the requirements were. I'll find it here for some
ATS something?
the CPSC playground safety standards. Whenever you have a playground that has to meet those standards, the cost goes up. So anyways, it's your turn to take a look at it and tell us what you think. Obviously, we would like the TDA to fund it. But I need to know, similar to the other project, is this something you're willing to proceed with, or is it you just don't like it, and we'll go back to the drawing board or go back to council? I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm trying to juggle multiple balls in the air at one time here to figure out everybody's position on this. But this is the playground that's being proposed at this time.
All right, Mandy, going to go to you first. Did you, number one, see the document?
Yes, sorry about that.
Great.
My two comments are, I don't see any planes.
Okay.
That is a popular thing. And the ground portion, is that like a mat, like it looks?
It's a poured-in-place rubberized surface. It's like it's poured like you would pour concrete, but it's not concrete, it's rubberized.
In theory, the children aren't supposed to get hurt when they fall on it and everything, which I think it's worse than falling in dirt. But,
But I know deal with that.
Sean, you want to pitch in on that?
She said how would ice and snow?
How will ice and snow affect the surface?
To be honest, I mean, I've never seen how it, personally, have I seen how ice and snow will affect. I will say this is what's at the YMCA over in Newland, and they've had no issues. Actually, I think Kate Gavenus was part of that project, so she could vouch for it as well. I've seen it in areas where sunlight is extremely harsh, and it's held up for many years. Snow and ice is a little different. One of the reasons, other than the safety standards, is also longevity of the surfacing. We've had pea gravel and mulch in other areas, and we go back and resurface that every few years. Pea gravel just really doesn't meet those standards. It's also very messy. It's a very windy area up on top of the mountain, so we got to keep all these things in mind. But moving forward, you don't see a playground anywhere or a commercial playground, let me say that. That's built without this rubberized surfacing. That's what everybody's moving to.
Okay, Mandy, did that answer your question?
You mentioned the YMCA had it. Do you mean in their indoor facility?
No, the one right outside of the hospital in YMCA, as you're pulling in, it's there on the left.
But that's not poured. That's not heat resistant chunks.
Right, but it's the rubber surfacing. This is poured in place, so again, it's done, as Bob's saying, like concrete, but it's a surface.
Can I clarify the poured in place that we got in our region?
Sure.
It's actually at the Newland Elementary School. It's a
Oh, okay.
large, handicap accessible playground. It's good for all kids from the preschoolers up through age 12. And it does have poured in place. It was very expensive when we put that in. But I will say that has been about 18 years, and it's in really good shape still. So I've held up very, very well there. I understand now. Thank you. You're welcome.
So Kate, can you clarify for me, the YMCA has the individual particles, right?
Yeah,
Now, I'm not positive what the YMCA one does have. I was not part of that. I was the one who got the playground for the elementary school.
Okay, Mandy, you're familiar with the Y though, right? Yeah, okay,
Yeah, I think it's in like tiles.
yeah.
Yeah,
Calder,
that's not what
any
we want.
comments?
Well,
Go for it. This is an open discussion
I'm
here.
out of touch with reality. I think it's beautiful, but I was thinking $35,000, $40,000,
Yeah.
but I guess
Well, I think initially all of us were kind of in that ballpark area, and, this is just a proposal that they're bringing to us. You guys could sit there and say that, hey, we think a playground is important, but not $85,000 worth of a playground. And I think Sean has some different variations, or you can see where there's components here. Maybe it could be done in stages. So go ahead and speak freely.
Well, but I don't want to go so cheap that we end up spending down the road on maintenance every year either.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah. I will, one question, actually, Mandy, you mentioned swings. I do have a proposal of this exact system with swings, and I can give you that price, but be honest with you, the reason why I did not do swings is looking at the area in which this playground is going. We've got to keep our space in mind. We actually went and measured even more today, since things have changed. This is going to fit perfectly. It's really going to be a nice piece next to the park. Swings, you have to have not only the area for them, but also expended room forward and backwards for swings. So I agree, I really like swings, and we could. One comment about adding on as each year goes. The problem with doing that is really the surfacing will never match. Also, this system will probably, it could or could not be available down the road. The items that go with it, the color matching, everything is always going to change as you add pieces. Now, you could do swing sets as an addition, which, certainly there, but this one was sort of a grand scheme, great playground that fit a lot of, climbing apparatuses and slides, and still some cool rope features that are just fun for kids.
Kate, do you want to add anything?
Well, as a mom and a grandma and a former director of the Partnership for Children, I would say swings are so important. That's the first thing you see children go to. But, I do understand that it's space issues. They're great class to do, but it's really cool. But if you took that off and put a swing in there, somebody would be in that swing all the time.
Yeah.
Or remove one of the two sets of slides.
Yeah.
Well, swings are separate. It will not connect to the system.
I think you're hurting yourself. What did you just say?
Mandy, what he said is, I think you're thinking the swings would go where those two little green discs are. That is not the case. The swings are in a separate apparatus, and that's why they're figuring that they would have problems with space. But I do agree with Kate that when you think playground and you're a parent, grandparent, or whatever, you do think of swings and pushing, children and whatnot. So we're not here to help Sean design this, but I am hearing some good feedback. Do you want him to take another crack and maybe come in with a different dollar amount, or adding swings instead of maybe 3 different slides? What would you like to offer as guidance? I'll go to you first, Calder.
I can add the swings to this very one, just it's not 84,000.
Okay, you think. Mandy, you go.
If we come in with a different dollar amount, it should be less and not more.
Okay.
That's
All
what I
right,
figured you'd
okay.
say.
Stop adding.
So,
Okay, so maybe they can, take or reconfigure some of the components. And I know you guys are, set on, or it sounds like you're set on the poured surface. I don't even know, and Kate, you probably can speak to this, whether they even do playgrounds with dirt anymore, or the rubber factor or whatnot. So is the poured surface or nothing at all, Kate?
You can do other services, you just have to make sure it's the proper depth for a fall zone. You can still do mulch, you can do the rubberized chips if you want. But like
going to be gone.
Now they're going to cancel in and we'll have another one.
Okay, along with the spray paint. We can paint the cars and put rubber or plastic over there too. Well, Mandy, I think you are kind of thinking dollar-wise too. Maybe we can send Sean back to the drawing board. And Calder, is there a dollar amount that you're more comfortable with? So we could give him a little bit more guidance. I think the dollar amount that he was given to put things together was 80 grand.
My problem is I like what I see.
I assure you, when this is up, you know, I want to be proud of this. I believe the TDA would like to be proud of this. The town would like to be proud of this. So, you know, that's my sales pitch. We want to do something that is going to look nice, be a great asset for recreation in the town. So, you know, I'm really happy with what we came up with, and you know, I'll give you a little background, the look of it. So the colors keep with what a lot of the colors that we were using around the center, or I'm sorry, around the town. It also follows in the same colors that is in a large building that's just adjacent to the playground, which is our convenience center and public works, which, if you look at the topic, it kind of looks, it sort of had the trash can-y feel, or, you know, wooden slabs, and that was to kind of keep in with the feel of what is right across from the playground. So it's a way to kind of have fun with the design of the playground and keeping, you know, that continuity look amongst the things. So that was just a little tid piece.
Okay, great. Well, appreciate the background. So Calder, would you, I think the more direction we kind of give Sean, the better, you know, our next output will be.
Sandy,
Yes.
can you hear me now?
Yes. Hey, Cindy.
I went the old-fashioned way and typed it in my bar and managed to plug it here, so I'm online trying to catch up.
Okay, great. Well, we're in the middle of the playground, but real quick afterwards, after playground discussion, we'll go back and get your input on the other things too. But yeah, so let's do playground.
You're saying there's 3 slides on this puppy?
Yeah, Bob, could you push up or down? Okay, do you see the other version?
It's a little shorty, 2 little shorties, and 1 little thing over there.
Yeah,
One kind of, whatever.
yeah.
Spent. Well, my first comment is this bathroom is $120,000, and I think last month when we spoke, we were looking at $30,000. So we multiplied our number by 4 there.
Right, and that's because that project, Cindy, we ended up not just doing the one unit like was going to be done at Lake Coffee, because we're thinking about, or they're thinking about the future. They went ahead and they did more restrooms, also included the sheds, the sledding shack, and then, you know, storage and everything. So I think they're trying to work smarter.
Gotcha, but when we're looking at this list of 9 things, we just took a major chunk out of it with the bathroom. I'm not saying I'm against the bathroom, I'm just saying that number is already considerably more staggering than what we thought it was.
Correct.
But with this recreation, whatever, playground here, my concern there is that it's right up there next to the bark park, and the dogs are already stressed because they're around a bunch of other dogs that they don't know, and there seems to be issues up there more frequently than we want to admit. And I'm wondering about parking and throwing in a bunch of screaming youngins and creating even more activity and anxiety up there. My question is, don't we have some town lots elsewhere? Is there possibly a better place that this park could go that it's not going to add to the problem
Yeah,
We're not throwing in on top of the dogs, or the big dogs, and the
Yeah.
little dogs, and the dog shit, and everything.
Cindy?
I mean,
Yeah, you know what? I think that is a great observation, but I think where we're coming from and how this idea has been generated is from the families that have been requesting specifically, and Bob, you know, you may want to jump in and help me here, but I think that the families have specifically asked for this area and for specifically a type of playground. You know, maybe to address, you know, the stress level, maybe we don't go so big. You know, maybe we just put 3 friggin' swings there and no slide, and, you know, it's not as grand as we want up there, but it would.
and it's gonna pull people away from Buckeye.
Oh,
You know, that fabulous facility down there is kind of, I'm just a little hesitant about it, quite frankly.
yeah. I don't know whether I would think,
Kind of like to see us build yet another Mark Park and take some of the pressure off of the one that we have. Have a second one somewhere else. Maybe have it down at Buckeye. So that we're, sorry, trying to, rather than compete, to complement if that is something possible.
okay, great. Well, those are great comments, duly noted. Mandy, do you want to chime in?
Again, I want to see everything, all the pricing, everything laid out at one time and look at everything and how much money we have and figure it all out.
Okay. I agree with that, the approach, Mandy, but if we don't give Sean a little bit of guidance, this is exactly what you're going to see, and this is exactly what they're going to bring back. So just,
Sean, what would happen, I'm just going to throw out something just so we can have a discussion. What would happen if we kept the big tower and the slide there, but everything to the right, get rid of that and put in the swings? Can you give us a price on something like that?
Certainly.
I'm looking at the top picture.
Right, yeah, and I'm looking at one from a little different view, but I certainly can look at that. I can't give a quick answer, so I'm not going to, but of what they can actually remove or detach. But either way, you still have a larger surface area because the swings cannot go, they just will not connect into the system. They're going to have those as a detached system. Yeah, I don't have the best answer for you, but I can look into it.
well,
I'll take a copy and mark it up and email it to you.
it seems like, Sean, that, you know, everybody thinks this is, you know, great, and thank you for your efforts and everything, but it seems like everyone's focusing on swing, swing, swing. So maybe you come back to us with something that emphasizes swings versus maybe not so much the fort and the slide, and then we can kind of move from there. And guys, we've got a great opportunity. We've got our workshop coming up, so Sean, if you would have a chance to, you know, maybe pull some of that together for us, this could be something that we could take a look at the workshop.
I have another question.
Okay.
Have any of the families requested what kind of playground they wanted?
They have said swing sets and slides and just regular, you know, playground.
So kind of what we're thinking too, a mix of the both.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And Kate, you got that feedback too, right?
Yes, that is also what I was hearing was, could we just have swing sets and a slide and, you know, that, I think that's what most people think of when they think of a playground. Just one comment on this design that we've got here, it is a multi-age design, so the small sides are on the right, where there's the little side, that is the 2 to 5-year-old area, and
Yep. And so if you do, Calder, what you said, if you detach everything, then yes, the younger kid, either the whole thing's going to just have to be redone. So, just, yep, something to keep in mind. It is to,
Okay. Well, I think
it's to work for all ages.
good feedback that, and I'm glad Mandy said, but that is what the families did ask us for, was a playground with swing set and slide and, but not to say if they didn't see this that they would love this also, but if we could send you back to the drawing board. Do we want to give Sean a kind of a more of a budget that you guys are comfortable with? So we don't have him come back with, or if you want him to come back with another $85,000 design? Calder, I'm looking at you.
With the price levels we're coming through for the first two projects, I see no way we can fund all.
Okay,
five
well, so
projects if we stay on this level of funding.
Throw out a
Not
number.
that what we're being presented is not wonderful.
Okay,
What I'm seeing on these two things so far are great, but I see that, so I
Yeah.
think we need to decide that if we want to maybe do fewer projects, but do upscale. But I see no way that we can fund
Okay.
all these 5 or 6 projects.
so just
If they're all in the same kind
a ballparky type of number.
of, well, my original thoughts were 30 or 40, so, I want to look at something between 50 and 60, but obviously, when I looked at this, I'm so out of touch, I don't know this business like
Okay.
John does.
Mandy?
So originally, my head was in the $50,000 mark.
Okay, Cindy?
I'm with Calder. You've already got $120,000 bathroom, now you're asking for a $35,000 trail machine, and, it's.
Okay, big picture, guys, we have about 500,000.
Around here.
I know.
I just wonder, like I said, if we could do better to put a dog park down where we already have a playground, rather than putting a playground at our existing.
Okay, we're just trying to,
But having said that, 50,000
okay,
sounds like an awful lot of money for swing sets and stuff.
okay. And Cindy, I agree with you, and I understand sticker shock and everything, but, I think Sean has definitely done his homework and got a good company, good pricing. Let's go ahead and send him back and see if he'll go and take a crack with a swing emphasis, Sean, and then about 50,000. And what could happen, guys, is, maybe the TDA doesn't fund the entire project, but we get it started. And, maybe they can go to the families, or maybe they can find some other type of funding source. Just throwing out there an idea that's kind of been floating around is park, especially a playground, is a great item to be a memorial park and get a name. So maybe they can find some kind of grant or something out there. So. But appreciate all the work you did on this, Sean. And does anybody else have any other suggestions besides sending him back to the drawing board, keeping it around 50 and highlighting swings? All right?
The other thing I would, back to the weather thing, and Riley, if you'll jump in since you have some background in maintaining golf facilities, I know in our front yard, at the Four Seasons and some of the county associations, the frost heave is significant in some areas of our grounds, and I didn't know frost heave affects this kind of surface.
Frost, are you referring to the freeze thaw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I know some sections of some of the places we maintain, I'm seeing where it goes up 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah.
Some settle back down, some don't. So he'll just ask that.
I will.
About this surface.
Yeah. I believe they actually pour concrete underneath everything, but I'll talk to the company and actually check. Or it may just be concrete curbing around.
Great. Well, thank you guys for jumping in and giving us your ideas and thoughts on that. All right. So if there's no other comments on that, let's go over to the visitor center expansion. Bob, do you want to give like just a brief?
Well, I hate to, but I will. We've started preliminary design on the visitor center expansion. John Merritt and Kate are working on that. And when we have some plans available, we'll bring it to you and to council to get the same direction we did on the bathrooms.
Okay, great. So that's underway. Kate, any comments?
Yeah, the most important thing about that is town is willing to fund that to the tune of $150,000. We're looking at probably 600 square feet that we need to expand, so that would be a very nice expansion. Plus, because they're going to be looking at expanding the town hall building into the patio area to give the police more room, we would then need to have a patio on the other side of our new building. And so that kind of funding could accommodate that as well.
Okay, great. Kate, I'm glad that you jumped in, that you said that. So you guys, you know, you're thinking about these high dollar amounts for these projects. Well, we're in conjunction with the town, and I know you guys on the list had the visitor center in your mind. You know, that's not something that TDA is going to be funding fully by ourselves. You know, we're going to be in combination with the town. So hopefully that'll make you think a little bit more, you know, not that these projects are pulling so much from the bank. There are other resources that we're going to be doing and using for that visitor center expansion. Okay? All right, good deal. All right, so then let's pop back up to the top on the billboard. And I think, Chief, you have an update on the billboard?
Yeah, the contract's been let for $25,000, and the contractor's getting materials ready, and they'll be starting probably the first week of April.
Great, and that is under what we budgeted. Thank you for moving that along. Kate, do you have an update that you'd like to give for the TV channels?
Yeah, the TV channels do have new material on them at this point. We do have the ability in-house to add things. So, particularly Sean, if you have new slides you want us to put in, we can do that now. We do have control of the YouTube channel that actually feeds both of the TV stations.
Great, okay, thank you for that update. Kate, do you have anything about happy 40th birthday to the town and, you know, celebrate with us and the website as one of the slides?
Okay, do we have one there? That's the 40th birthday?
We have,
Yeah, and I'm going to unmute myself. I'm going to mute myself back so we don't mess up.
Okay,
What's currently on the TV channel, we do have the first slide that says that we're celebrating our 40th year.
perfect.
At the website to go get more info.
Excellent, thank you guys, perfect, perfect. All right, let's move down. In your packet, the town provided us with the final receipts for the second Sledding Hill. I didn't see anything on there that was questionable. Did anybody have any comments on that? All right, good deal. Webcam, I think Chief Putney, you've got an update on that?
The pole that it is mounted to, as well as the power and the internet, has been ordered and should be in shortly.
Okay, wonderful, great. Jackrabbit, this online software program is the present to the town residents and our visitors this year, or actually this month. Kate, I believe you have it all finished, finalized, right?
Yes, it is finished. I'm going to pass it on to Armando. He is going to have it put up on the website, but remember, we're switching over to a new version of the website, so we haven't put it up because it's just going to have to come right back down. So hold on just a second. I'm going to mute so Armando can talk.
Okay, Okay, excellent, good, thank you for that update. Let's see, when that is actually online and able to go, can we do some kind of e-blast to the residents to let them know, we're entering the 21st century, and, let them know that we're assisting TDA funds, are assisting the hotels. That's coming from, there was a comment on Facebook, and I know everybody's got their own opinions about Facebook, but they were mentioning how we were getting so much in our occupancy tax, and that one person, and Kate, I sent them your way, I tried to give you a warning ahead of time, was saying that they understood that only occupancy tax dollars only benefited hotels and restaurants. So anything that we can do to highlight where the tax dollars are going, and especially because you guys are doing such great work, I think is a great opportunity. So, all right.
We could get real tacky and on every one of these installations and gardens and everything.
Oh, funded by the TDA.
Funded by the
I don't think
TDA.
that's tacky at all. I think that's informative. All right, jumping into 40th birthday celebration. Sean is working on either 1 or 2 trees for planting. They'll be pre-positioned with dirt around them so we can just shovel them in. And hopefully at the Arbor Day celebration, Lauren, she's done some great research on trees that are good for Beech Mountain. And it can be an educational tree planting, and she can also, and Sean McNay's really good about talking about the beech bark and the woolly algae diseases and why we need to replant and all that kind of fun stuff. So Sean, I'm hoping that you can take care of that, and your tree budget is $300 instead of $1,400. Okay? All right, great.
I would like to put something in our calendar that each year we do maintenance and fertilizing and pruning. We're really good at planting trees up here, but our long-term maintenance for our trees sometimes wavers. Put that on a long-term maintenance calendar.
FYI for you guys, we've got food taken care of for the birthday party. Fred's has graciously decided not to do little teeny sandwich boxes. He is going full out, and we're doing hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken, 2 sides, drink, and working with Carol Sposata on the birthday cake, trying to track down a DJ. Since the last time we've talked, an arts and crafts show locally has been added. That'll happen 12 to 4. The really important part of that is, you guys might remember from 5 years ago, we had the community and the town info kind of showcase where the fire department got to come out, police department came out, different businesses came out, and we, according to some of the numbers, and I think Kate's provided these numbers, we were at 350 was the number that we kept saying about year-round residents. Now the number that's been floated around is 581, which is a considerable amount in a year and a half. So we've got a lot of new people that really aren't plugged into the services we offer and are have access to Facebook, and it's easier, I think, for them to try to look to Facebook to get answers, but if we can all be at the birthday party and use that opportunity to inform, I think that that'll be a good thing. Police department's already jumped in. Fire department's going to have 2 fire engines. The club's going to be there. I'm waiting on the resort. Chamber's going to be there. So I think we're going to have really great participation. Fred Armando liked your design so well that he and Lynn, and I know you're working with them, are putting it on shirts and also caps. They're going to be selling them at the event. So kudos to you. Appreciate that. The element that I'm working on hard now is the veterans. We're trying to get a ceremonial band together, believe it or not. to honor the vets and play all 4 of the different songs. So we're good on that. Kate, I was watching the planning meeting, and Leslie said that she had been working so hard on the birthday party that she hadn't had a chance to go over the planning materials. I've never spoken with her. I don't know what she's doing with the birthday party. Is she running something through you?
No, I am totally unaware of anything that Leslie might be doing at this moment. She may have something going on. I've only talked to her about the fireworks and the 4th of July.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought maybe she was referring to, but she was saying that she was going to do a scavenger hunt, and she wanted to know where all the 40s were, and I'm like, okay, all right, I will track it down then. So you're good, right? Okay, all right, so the unknown. All right, any other questions about the birthday party? Everybody, I hope you will be there. Fred has requested some volunteers. But Sean, perfect opportunity to showcase all of the wonderful things. Oh, and can I please have a annual pass free? And may I also please have a weekend at Shane Park for free? We're going to do door prizes. Superlative Realty is going to do a nice basket. If anybody else knows of something that I can give away, let me know. And I know already one thing I can't do, but I'm okay with it. And it should be a good time. So appreciate everybody's help on it.
Cindy has something.
Yes, Cindy?
When you assemble these different departments, I guess the May,
Uh-huh.
end of it, when they've got all the material there, do you think it would be a good idea to interview some of these department heads and just do little short information things that they could use on the TV channel?
That sounds great. That sounds great. That would be something that probably Armando and Kate would probably take over. We definitely want to have a TDA booth because there's just so many questions. You know, everybody has seen how many people are here, and nobody really understands what our mission is or what we're doing and what we're providing. Kate, want to compliment you on your report, the director's report. There is that one page in there, and I don't know whether anybody actually got all the way through it to see it, but it was the one page where Kate mentioned, you know, these are the current projects that we're working on. This is the projects that are underway. These are the things that we fund every year, like the Christmas lights and the landscaping. And I found that, especially because it's on one page, I found it very informative, very easy to pass to somebody. But I did notice that, Kate, that while it was in your report to us, it did not go in your report to the council. Was that just to be eternal for us? All right, well, it wasn't in the thing that I looked through, because I thought it was pretty impressive. I thought it was very well laid out, and that's the kind of thing that I've been hoping to do for quite a while, so I appreciate it. All right, does anybody have any other questions on birthday party? Great. Bob, a quick update on radio station?
Radio station is underway, poles being set similar to the webcam. The conduit's in for the antenna, and I don't have a live date yet, but it's progressing well.
Perfect. On the quilt trail, I want to just say great coverage on it. Perfect example of a project that not only is wonderful for our visitors coming up on the mountain, but also really incredibly wonderful for our residents. And kudos to that. I think that the marketing, the materials that came out on that, very colorful, good job. Parking area at EMO.
We're going to hold off on that.
Okay, and we've already done playground, Bark Park, forking, wayfinding signs. Kate, in our packet, there was one sheet. I didn't really know what to make out of it. Can you go from there?
I'd like to first give the update on the quilt trail. We are in our state on one, and we were
Great.
On this wayfinding update, this is a document that was provided by Preston. There are two people on the wayfinding committee, it's Preston, me, and Sean Royal. And what we're going to be doing is first making an assessment of what funds are out there, and then an assessment of what funds are actually needed. We're collecting anecdotal evidence about where people get lost, what people say when they get lost, where do people go when they get lost, and then we're condensing down to the signs. It seems a little counterintuitive, but we've got way too many signs out there, and it's just very confusing. So we're looking for the pressure points, where are people getting lost, and where are they intending to go at the point at which they got lost. So there's a whole process to it, and Preston has been through this before, so he is leading us through this right now.
Okay, great. Thank you for that update. Can you continue, Kate, and let us know how many grants have come on in?
Okay, yes, at this point, I've talked to 4 people, only one person's actually given me their grant application, so we've got 1 in. I'm pretty sure we're getting the second one soon. Both of them are actually focused on beautification, so that is really nice to see.
Hey, Kate, do you think it would be worth it to go ahead and send out a nice reminder? You know, everybody was incredibly busy. I think Calder mentioned that, and just say, hey, guys, you know, love to hear from you. Just a friendly reminder. Here's the date.
Yeah, I'm sending it back out on Friday because it is actually due on the 28th, so that'll give them time to get their credits to me and get their information in. The 28th will be a Monday. The reason why I extended it to Monday instead of Good Friday is I am going to be gone that previous week, and there may be some last minute deciders who need information.
Okay, perfect. Great. Thank you. The town signs at Buckeye Road, we approved that unanimously, so hopefully that just goes in the record. That was done by via email. The retreat, March 16th. Kate, is Tracy doing it for us?
Okay, Tracy is going to actually be skiing out west with his girls, but Candace Cook is coming as our guest. She will be here around lunchtime, and she's going to talk to us about what we're seeing in the high country as far as tourism, what we expect to see in the next year, and where they're going to be putting their marketing emphasis. So I think she'll be a really excellent guest. She is the director of the high country hub.
All right, so we do not have a facilitator then?
No, we do not have a facilitator.
Okay. All right. Moving into new business, in your packet, Kate had prepared a preliminary budget. She and I did not get a chance to review this. Does anybody have any questions, just looking at it first blush? Okay, you didn't get a chance to review it? Okay. Kate, for the retreat, could you go ahead and take the preliminary budget and anything that is above a 10% increase, go ahead and footnote, and that'll help us. If you can send that ahead of time to us, let us know what the increase was for, or if it is a major decrease, and that'll help us when we get with you. And we can put that on the workshop agenda. Additionally, anybody, Cindy, Mandy, Calder, if you have items that you think we need to address or, just want to put up for discussion, if you would go ahead and send them to myself and Kate. And since we don't have a facilitator, Kate and I will get together an agenda of the items that we want to cover so we make this productive event for us. All right, anything in old business or new business that we need to cover that I'd forgotten? Cindy, are you waving at me?
Well, I was just gonna ask Kate if, with these, signs out on Buckeye Road, if they've given us any kind of inclination as to when they will start and be done with that?
Well, we just let them know last week that,
Well, and I'm not trying to be pushy, I'm just curious as to,
Contract, yeah, contract's been signed, the contractor's getting his material, he'll be starting soon.
Okay.
We can hope by early summer to have it out. Yes. That would be wonderful.
In terms of projects, communicating them to our residents, the birthday, the last Mountaineer, the town birthday party, and I know it was early and there was a lot of news, wasn't covered at all. So Sean, I don't know when the next Mountaineer is coming up, but if we could have a big article in there, and I'd be happy to provide you with as much detail as we know right now. We might have to leave a couple of blanks or whatever. And then also if that could go out in the water bill, anything that we can do to get the participation up, I think would be good, because we just don't know how people are getting their news right now.
Sure, the next one is in April, so I'm going to start asking
Putting
department
together.
heads for all their stuff now, so.
Okay, good deal.
This would be a good front page article, always looking, so.
If you go onto the Beech MTN, and I know because I've just been jumping on a lot because of the birthday and sending out the link to everybody, if you're on that page and you go all the way down and you click on Buckeye Rec, it takes you to the equestrian habitat style. I think it's like you can buy riding outfits. So I don't know whether you want to just maybe have under construction instead of the generic, it looks like a, they're a demo for building a website.
And for what website though? What website
If
name?
you're going to the beachmtn.com, you go all the way down and you click on Buckeye Recreation, and you click on that, and it goes to the Buckeye Rec org.
Right, and that site's gone.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, you might want to put a link in there that says other construction, or send it to.
Just send them to rec desk.
Yeah,
That would
send it
be-
to somewhere that,
I'll contact, I guess Armando's taking care of the Beach MTN site. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Or Kate, or I'll call.
okay,
I'll
take a
call
look
them.
at that. If you guys could just check all your links, because I know you guys are in the middle of transition and everything. All right. Kate, could you go ahead and just jump into your marketing report?
And we have quite a few pieces out there. We have a lot of media that are preparing for a summer and fall visit, so that is really good because we redirected everybody, basically everybody from last year through this winter. We redirected them all. So we have a lot of people who are kind of in the pipeline. We and the town does not put in your culvert for you. They don't grade your property. They don't worry about assisting you with anything else. All the way up to a level 3 business, if you score 10 to 12 points, then they will consider giving you a low-cost long-term lease on the property, first right of refusal at the end of the lease, a consultation with the town planner regarding signage, consultation with the inspector regarding the building location and aesthetics and functionality, a consultation with...
Well, Kate, let me go ahead and stop you there because I want to really try to get the meeting out. I think everybody can see how much work that you put into this, and great job, very, very thorough. Bob, have you had a chance to use it yet?
No.
Okay, all right, right, good to know. Kate, you also had some pretty interesting news for around the area, especially the Marriott Hotel.
Yes, they are in talks. There is not a deal signed on this yet, but Sugar Mountain will be the recipient of the tax dollars on this if it goes in. It is next to the Lexus Lowe's up there at Shield. It's 118 room Marriott. So they have been in the discussion stages. To my knowledge, there's not a contract signed on it. There is a bodega going in Newland. There is a contract on Strucknall. They've already purchased that property. So that is a deal done. And then the O'Reilly, there's also a contract on that. So those are all new things that are coming into the area. Up on the mountain, the Archer Smith property, they, once they take their final determinations on their water and sewer needs, then they will draft their plans based on what they're allowed to do. And then we also have plans being drafted for Cat's Overlook. When they get their plans drafted, they will bring them to planning and inspections for their review and suggestions. So things are underway. We do have a couple of businesses that are looking around for potential commercial space they don't want to own. So we're entertaining people coming up on the mountain and looking at what might be possible there as well.
Great, well, perfect. All right, let's see. Kate, if you can give me a call tomorrow or the next day, and let's go ahead and do some pre-planning on the retreat. I would appreciate that. And Chief Pudney, do you have any comments before we give it to the board members to wrap up?
Nope, thank you all.
Okay, Calder, you want to go first? You're okay?
I'm good.
Okay, Cindy, I should have let you go first because you didn't get to do much. That's all right. That's why we're here.
I found this business expansion toolbox very intriguing. I noticed, of course, that all the town-owned property are really not something that the typical business would be interested in, because most of them are very peripheral or recreational, residential, whatever. So my question is, with these waivers and things that you might offer up if somebody were willing to do town, is that strictly for town-owned lots, or is that opportunities that can be waived for people that own their own property and want to start a business, or how does that play out?
It was actually written for town properties because the idea was that we needed to start making some money off of the town properties, and we needed to start attracting the kinds of businesses that people have been asking for. As far as things being mostly in residential, I did talk to Bob about maybe trying to rezone a few things. There are some lots down on Buckeye Creek, but he thought that we would wait to see what happened
Okay, great, good question. Cindy, do you have more?
Yes.
Okay, Mandy?
Just wanted to say, that I think if we can control all of our projects within price parameters, that we can achieve them all.
All right, great. I love that positive attitude. I think we all appreciate that. Sean Royal, anything? Nope. All right. Can I go ahead and get a motion to get the heck out of Dodge? All right, Calder moves. Cindy, you want a second because you finally got here? Ah, yay, thumbs up. All right. Okay, appreciate everybody's time. Thank you very much, staff, and looking forward to speaking with you, Kate. Bye.